Really, really good summer. And I'm not trying to get these guys to be complacent and patting them on the back too hard that they did a good job, but there were some things that had to be addressed, and he addressed them. Just his body's leaner right now, and he's going to do a much better job with his weight. His weight's so much better than it was last year. He's got so much more energy. I think he's just in a different place mentally too right now. It's just a whole nother confidence level. I think sometimes coming out as a freshman, you think you're pretty good. I think I can handle this, and I think I can handle the season. And sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming, and I think that happened to him a few times. But he's very well equipped this year to be the guy at 65. And I know that's a good weight. Some guys have moved up in there, and there's some guys back and some young guys coming in. But I like Cooper more, and I'll put him up there against any of those guys.
How's the battle at 197 turning out for you right now?
We'll see this weekend. We'll see this weekend. I want one of those guys. I want one of those guys to do this, where their level raises, and they make them separation. I mean, that's what you want to see. I thought Bartell had a pretty good summer. I thought Basil had a pretty good summer. I don't know if I've seen the separation yet, but we'll see that in competition, if there's that separation. I think as a coach, you hope that happens. You hope that a guy just jumps in level. And then what you hope really happens is then that other guy jumps his level too, to respond to it. And when you have that happen, then that room gets really tough. And then you send one guy out there that's really, really ready to wrestle and make an impact in March.
What do you hope to see from Cody this year?
Cody's moving up a weight. He's not a small 84-pounder. He built his body up right. He had a good summer. He might be the strongest guy on our team as far as being able to move weight. It's going to come down to this thing in believing when he's out there, because he's got all the tools. Now it's putting them together when he goes out there and competes. But he's done things right for 3 years, and he's done things at a high level for 3 years. So when you see that happen, the payoff's going to come. I can't tell him when. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to come, and we're ready for it to come this year.
How are things shaking out at 49 right now? I know Gunner saw a little time for you last year. Who's kind of taking that spot right now?
Well, him and Witt, they had an exhibition match, and it was actually a really good match. It was probably the most maybe entertaining match on Saturday. There was a lot of action back and forth. Again, you got to have someone that's going to step up. Who's going to be the guy that's going to emerge? Who's going to be the guy that's going to take, not kind of play around with being the guy, but grab it by the throat and be the guy. Go chase it down, grab it, take it, it's mine, and I'm not going to give it back. And that's what we want out of these guys. And then, and then in turn, I want the other guy to do the same thing. Like, I've talked about that at quite a few of these weights. So either what's going to happen is, we got two guys that are going to do this, and their level's going to go through the roof, or maybe you're going to have one guy that his level starts to raise, the other guy starts to drop. Hopefully that's not what happens, but like I said, we want one of those guys, actually both those guys, or three of those guys, whatever you got at the weight, that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make myself the man. I'm going to be the guy. And when that happens, then great things happen. And I feel like that's what's happening in our room right now. Guys are feeding off each other. They're making each other better. But it's hard to say in the room. I've seen guys who are great practice room wrestlers, or I've seen guys that are horrible practice room wrestlers. So sometimes that's not always the indication of where a guy's at, but the effort's been extremely high. And I guess that's what you ask for as a coach. The effort's been high. The guys have bought into what we're doing, and they're doing it at a very high level. I think our skills are as high as they've been across the board. If you go 1 through 38, we got 38 guys on our team. 1 through 38, our skills are as high as they've ever been. I think the attitude and just where the room is at, as far as depth and a high level of mentality, is as high as it's ever been, and that's a good thing. And you just want to keep raising on that, because kind of what I opened with is we're not planning and building to be a team that's UNI. They were good a couple years ago. You remember that team? They were pretty good. What happened to them? That's not what we're building for. We're building for that team. They're like, oh, well, dang, they graduated that guy, and well, now they got this guy and this guy, and that's what we're building to do.